if I traded it all.
Welcome to the show, everyone. It's practically October tomorrow. It's a crazy night. Well, not tomorrow, almost tomorrow. I am live on Facebook with everybody. Ted Watkins is with me. Ted is my longest running guest. We've been saying it for 7 years, but you're over 7 years now, Ted. You are an enrolled agent. You've been doing what you do since 1978. Welcome back to the show. I hadn't seen you for a while because you were doing some replays. How are you?
I'm fine. It's great to be back.
Tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do and how you do what you do so well.
You bet. Well, my name's Ted Watkins, and some of you have probably heard me in the past. But I'm what's called an enrolled agent before IRS. Now, I'm not an employee of the IRS. Some people make that mistake.
Get closer to the mic because we got these new mics. You got to get closer.
All righty. So anyway, what I do is I work with people that have tax issues to help them resolve tax issues with the IRS and the Arizona Department of Revenue. And actually, I have clients in 23 different states. So I can help people all over the country because I'm actually licensed by the federal government. So that allows me to help anyone in all 50 states and Guam and all those other territories we still own.
Now, here's the thing, too. I mean, you say that you help people with tax issues, but I also know that you don't have to have tax issues in order to work with you.
Well, no, that's quite true, Carol. I prepare, almost 1,000 returns now, about 600 individual and 200 or 300 small business returns. So you don't have to have an issue to work with me. We're happy to prepare just your regular tax returns, and hopefully you don't have tax issues.
Right.
And hopefully we can save you some tax dollars by getting all the deductions that you're entitled to.
Ted has the sharpest pencil that I know of anybody. But also, the thing about Ted, too, is that you like to do is you end up helping people, and if they have tax issues, you've helped so many people out there, you've been coming on my show for a long time. There are a lot of people out there that don't do their taxes, and it snowballs, and something happens. You also like to give a lot away. You have a lot of things that you like to do. You're a big giver. First of all, you're tax organizer, and right now, everybody, you know that your drawers are stuffed right now, and you got to get organized. The first of the year is around the corner. Talk a little bit about that organizer.
Okay, I have what we call my tax organizer or tax questionnaire, and it's about 15 pages long, but you don't have to be intimidated by it because it's kind of a one-size-fits-all. So if, say, for example, if you own rental property or if you have stock and bond transactions, and so it helps everyone no matter what your tax situation is. But if you spend a few minutes going over it, you'll probably find a lot of tax deductions that you didn't know you were entitled to take. So you spend 10, 15 minutes on it, and I can almost guarantee you'll save several $100s in tax bills by finding some deductions you didn't know you were entitled to take.
You've been doing this since 1978.
1978.
It's amazing. And you also love to give things away. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away the tax organizer by opening up the lines of the audience for everyone to call in. Also, you also have what the number one question that everyone asks you is?
How long do I have to keep my stuff?
Yeah, how long?
Well, generally 3 years for IRS. The state of Arizona requires you to keep them for 4. But there are some things that you have to keep forever, like wills and real estate deeds and things like that. But there are some things, I've had people, with 20 years worth of tax returns, and you really don't have to do that. You shouldn't throw them away, though. You should have them shredded.
But there's a lot of people that do need to keep certain things, especially if you've got a lot of, real estate or whatever, maybe a couple of businesses. And everyone's going to get the record retention guide as well from us. He also is going to give you a free Starbucks card. Also, he's going to either do the Starbucks card or also the Walmart card as well. He loves to give things away. He's going to do a free consultation for you. He goes back 3 years for everyone for free. Tell him about that.
Okay, yeah, we'll be happy to take a look at your tax returns for the last 3 years. And the reason it's 3 years is that's only as long as you can file an amended return if there's some changes that need to be made. So we do that for free. If the returns look fine, then I'll tell you that, and you'll be on your way. But if it looks like we could save you some money by some deductions that were missed, or maybe the return wasn't done properly, then we can file an amended tax return.
We're going to open up the lines to the audience. He's here live today with us on Facebook. Everybody like us out there. And our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You're going to get the tax organizer. You're going to get the record retention guide. You're going to go. He's going to give you the Starbucks card or the Walmart card. Also, he goes back for you for 3 years at no cost. He's also going to do a free consultation. And on top of all of this, he's going to enter everybody in to win a free business or personal tax return. So that's at least a $400 value free to everybody out there.
Absolutely.
So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check him out on his website. It is tedwatkinsea.com, and his phone number to call it is area code 602-363-1952, or you can also call him at 480-707-7670. I know it's Friday. I know you're thinking about where you want to go and what you want to do, but you know what? This is either it's not you, it's someone that you know. Ted has been doing this for a long time. He has been helping lots of our clients. I should say, you do help some of the people that are coming on the show, too.
I do.
But, I mean, the listeners and stuff like that. He has helped a lot of people. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. And also for anyone that's listening way out there from all over the world, he can help anybody in the United States as well. He's licensed in all 50 states. You know what I want to go into really quickly before we go to a break of how you work with people and in terms of how easy you made it, how affordable you made it as well.
Okay, yeah, if you have a tax issue, you've probably been inundated with calls and mail from, I call them the national tax resolution companies, and most of them will charge you a retainer of anywhere from $3,500 to, there's one company in LA that charges $18,000 up front before they'll even take on your case. Now with me, I only charge $175, and that's for a power of attorney fee. It's an IRS power of attorney. You're not signing your life away to me, so it just allows me to talk to the IRS because of the privacy laws. But anyway, it's only $175. What that gets you, I find out if you have any tax returns that need to be filed, and then if you owe back taxes, then the IRS will fax me transcripts of how much that you owe. And then you can decide whether you want to handle it yourself. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but if you want me to hire me, then we can talk about my fees after that. But your only obligation is the $175. I don't require anything else up front.
Also, Ted doesn't work for the IRS. We'll talk about that when we come back. He has been doing this since 1978. Like I said, he has the sharpest pencil I know that anyone has. He will get you deductions, the things that you need. He has helped a lot of people out there. Our lines are open here, and everyone that's calling in is going to get the tax organizer, the record retention guide. It's a Starbucks card or a Walmart card. You're going to get entered in to win a free business or personal tax return. That's unbelievable that he does that for everybody. He'll go back the last 3 years for you for free, and he does free consultations. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It's tedwatkinsea.com.
If I traded it all, if I gave it.
Welcome back. We're talking with Ted Watkins. He is here live with us today, and he's an enrolled agent since 1978. I said that you don't work for the IRS. You want to explain a little bit of that?
Okay, no, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm licensed by the IRS, but I'm not an employee. I represent you, the taxpayer, so I'm in no way, shape, or form an employee of the IRS.
And there's something that happens with Ted. You've been coming on for a long time, longest guest, over 7 years now, have helped a lot of people out there, and there always are calls somewhere, some way. Sometimes they email me, they call the station sometimes, and they're like, where's Ted? Because And it doesn't necessarily happen right away, too, because some people end up with a problem, and then they're like, they heard Ted, and they're, Carol, where's Ted? I need Ted. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. He's going to give everyone, first of all, that tax organizer. Everyone's going to get that. It's awesome. I think everyone should have it just to have for your records and to keep everything straight. I don't care if you don't do anything else. Everybody should have that. The record retention guide. That's the number one question that he gets asked is, how long should I keep things? He has a whole list of things of what you need to do on that. He's also going to give you a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card. He wants to sit down with you and talk to you and tell you what he can do for you, whether you have issues or not. He can help anyone. And there's nothing like having an enrolled agent do your taxes for you. And you don't charge extra for that in any way. You'll go back 3 years for free for everybody. He also does free consultations. And on top of all of this, he's going to give you entered everyone in to win a free business or personal tax return. I know it's Friday, but listen to this. All lines are open here for you to call in if it's you or someone you know. Our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. He can help anyone in the United States of America. And on top of that, you can check out his website. It is tedwatkinsea.com. Okay, let's talk about some things that you wanted to talk about today.
Okay, thanks, Carol. Well, I finally came into the 21st century recently. And,
oh, you too?
Yeah, and started to blog a few weeks ago. And it's mainly tax related, but I've tried to keep it, reading tax articles can be very boring. So I've tried to make it a human oriented. For example, I wrote the story about Wesley Snipes and his tax issues. And it's actually a quite interesting story. He went to prison, for those of you who don't know, for 3 years for tax evasion. So I wrote his story. I also wrote one about the Equifax disaster, too, and what to do about that. That one's actually pretty informative. It goes over what websites to look at, and Equifax is offering some free credit monitoring and so forth. So there was 143 million people affected by that, so most likely you were affected if you have any sort of a credit history at all. I checked myself out, and my information was compromised.
Wow. So the website is tedwatkinsea.com. All sorts of information there, and that's what he's all about. You could call him direct. He'll do a free consultation with you. Again, if you have issues or not, the number to call is 602-363-1952, or you can also call him at 480-707-7670. He's been doing this since 1978, and he will give you a free consultation. You're also going to get the tax organizer from us. You can call in here, the record retention guide, the free Walmart card, or the Starbucks card. He's going to go back the 3 years for you, so that's for free, and he's going to give you a free consultation along with getting entered in to win a business or personal tax return. Boy, oh boy, that is so awesome, and you do that for everyone. That's awesome. 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I want to talk about some juicy stories. You always have some stories once in a while. So
okay, I have. Back in June, I think I took on this case, and it was a husband and wife, and both of them had pretty good jobs, or have pretty good jobs, but they also have a business that's doing quite well, and the business is actually throwing off about 3 times more net income after expenses than their jobs are. So anyway, they had come to me, and at first they told me they only owed a little bit of tax. So I started digging into it, and at first I found out they owed a little over $300,000.
Wow. That's why I couldn't get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You were busy.
Yeah. So anyway, that was through the 2015 tax year. So I didn't prepare any of these returns. They were done by a CPA who referred me to the case. But anyway, it came to the 2016 return, and he told me he was only going to owe a little bit. And so I said, well, what's a little bit? Well, the little bit turned out to be $175,000, and he hadn't paid any of his taxes at all. So he owes about $500,000 at the moment. So what's even worse, though, he had misrepresented this to a revenue officer, And the revenue officers, one of the few cases I've ever worked on, is trying to seize this person's personal residence. So we had to get a tax attorney that I've worked with quite often. So, but typically the IRS doesn't try to go after your personal residence.
Well, when you own $1 million, they're going to kind of want that.
Well, they kind of want their $500,000. Yeah.
Or $500,000?
Yeah.
$500,000. I'm sorry.
$500,000. So anyway, this case is still going on, but it's you don't want to. I guess the real moral of this story is that you should tell both me and particularly an IRS revenue officer somewhat close to the truth.
Yeah. But there are a lot of people out there that just put their heads in the sand when it comes to this. And also another thing, too, I have to say, and you're not the only one that this happens to, people that hear you, and everyone will say it, every one of my guests will say, especially if I've been on for a long time, some people that listen to me for like maybe 3 years, 5 years, and they finally call, and they always say, why didn't I call earlier? Why is it that people do that?
Well, I guess I call it the ostrich syndrome, where you put your head in the sand and you hope that it will go away. But what's happened, particularly in Phoenix, is, we had the real estate meltdown and then the Great Recession. So people wound up owing taxes, didn't have the money to pay it, and that starts 1 year, and then the next year it happens again. So pretty soon you're 3, 4, 5 years behind. And that's actually and what happens is that most people don't file the taxes. That's actually the worst thing you can do, because the penalties for not filing are much, much greater than the penalties for not paying, and that doesn't make sense intuitively. But that's the way the government, they want you to be, they call it being in full filing compliance. So even if you file your tax returns with no money and you owe whatever, your penalties will be much less, and the interest rate that the IRS is charging right now is only 4%. So you can file your tax returns and go get into a payment agreement with them, and you'll save tons of money by avoiding the failure to file penalties.
The best thing to do is to call Ted. He does a free consultation for everybody. He does work with anybody in the United States. He's licensed in all states, and he likes to work with you and talk to you and see what he can do. He absolutely loves what he does, and he also loves giving. He gives a lot to everybody. First of all, everyone's going to get the tax organizer. I believe that everyone should just have that. Put it in your desk, put it in your office, and then, use that when it comes time to get yourself organized for the tax season. And it's around the corner. Also, you're going to get the record retention guide. That, too, is something that he says is the number one question that people ask him. So you're going to not have to ask anybody. You'll know what to do. You can get rid of some things that you've had that you don't need. Also, you're going to get a free Walmart card or a Starbucks card from him. He wants to give you that as well. He goes back the last 3 years for free. He also is going to give you that free consultation. He's going to enter everybody into win a free business or personal tax return. So that's like a $400 value at least. You don't charge money, extra money for what you do. We're going to talk about that really quickly. Our number here, just keep on calling, and I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for all of these things. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It's Ted Watkins, EA.com. Check out his new blog as well. And everybody on Facebook out there that's listening, you can all call in as well. Real quickly, the difference between someone like working with an enrolled agent, because people think they need that to have something like that, they need to have trouble, but and also like going to the big box places.
Okay, well, yeah, my fees are actually quite reasonable. In a lot of cases, my tax return preparation fees will be less than the national firms like H&R Block, Liberty, and Jackson Hewitt. So just because I've been around for a long time doesn't mean that I'm out to charge you more. And also keep in mind that Monday, October 16th, if you're on extension, that's the deadline. So if you're organized, I could still help you out, although I'm quite busy right now.
Call in and get that organizer right now. You'll get yourself organized real quick. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check out his new blog. It's tedwatkinsea.com. Stories about what? About who this Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes.
And of course the other one was what?
Well, the Equifax.
Which is really important.
Yeah, which is very important right now.
For everybody. Again, we're going to keep our lines open here for everyone to get the tax organizer, the record retention guide. You're going to get the Walmart card, the Starbucks card. You're going to get entered in to win a free business or personal tax return. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.